Ah, yes, Boston has indeed entered the chat here inside our Salem 5 studios for Labor Day Monday. But we're not asking you to do any labor. We want you to kick your feet up and just vibe with us. Travis Thomas here with George Balekji, not just the regular George Balekji. No, I mean, when he left us, he left a boy. But he returns a married man. George Balekji was married, everybody.
My man.
Newlywed George. Look at that Super Bowl ring.
Feels good.
Man, it looks good on you. You got a marriage glow.
Appreciate that, my man. I mean, it was greatest. That Saturday was the greatest day of my life. That whole weekend, everything was the greatest experience of my life. All the hard work my wife put into planning it.
Yes.
Attention to detail. Chef's kiss. Brought everyone we love together. It was the best experience, man.
Yeah.
Honeymoon was fantastic because I just shut it down.
Yeah.
Happy to be back. I appreciate you holding it down while I was away, my man. Missed you. I did
I
miss
missed you too, man.
I did miss the studio.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be back. But yeah, it feels good to come back a married man.
Bromance. You know what I mean? By the way, you are Roman Anthony of newly married men. You know how? Because you just did a veteran move right there. Even though you're a rookie, you said, hey, I got to give my wife credit for everything she did with the planning, and that's a veteran move right there.
When you see someone sweating the flowers, and I go, come on, like, how often do you go to a wedding and say, wow, the flowers are great? And then I saw them, and I go, okay, all right, I'll eat crow. First thing I said to her when I saw her at the altar, flowers look great.
She's always right, bro. Even when you're right,
she's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, coming up on the show, the Red Sox got right. I mean, they salvaged their series against the Buccos. We'll get into that. And we'll look ahead to the Guardians game, which is going to start in about 5 minutes here, George, this afternoon at Fenway. Plus, we'll also talk Patriots. Where are we at in terms of our win totals? We'll predict it. I'm between 7 and 9. George, spoiler alert, he believes in this team. So we'll get into that. Call us, 617-790-0928. You want to talk Red Sox, Patriots, whatevs. Coach Belichick coaches tonight on the college side of things as well. We'll get into all that. So give us a call, 617-790-0928. A reminder, too, you can catch us 8 a.m. on Nessa, 9 a.m. right here on Nessa Nation. Okay, George, let's talk Buccos series. So I said salvaged because I didn't come into this weekend with these super high expectations. I just watched the Red Sox go 7-1 on the road before taking on this putrid Pirates team. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I get it. They're tired. It's a little bit of a letdown. When I saw the inside the park homer yesterday and the hustle and the heart from Jarren Duran, which is what he provides, I said, okay, here we go. We're back now. And then you come back, you're going to be just fine against the Guardians at Fenway. We can talk about that series too. It's a big series here. But I didn't have a big takeaway with the Pirates of they lost 2 out of 3, woe is me. I just thought they looked tired, and that's okay.
But everyone's tired. And what are they going to be in the playoffs? They'll be tired in the postseason. Look, they're just a half game back of the Yankees. Every game matters. Every day matters. And I was someone that, when they dropped it on Friday, I said, you know what, fine. Do you afford that luxury that you can drop a game against the Pirates? As long as you take 2 or 3. But it was how they lost on Friday. Payton Tolle's debut was electric. We'll get into that more.
Yes.
Loved seeing that from him. 5 1/3 innings pitched, mowing down that Pirates lineup. But it was when the bullpen took over. Greg Weissert couldn't get off to a good start. Now, he inherited 2 base runners, but his first 2 batters, hard hit balls right off the bat, then settled down. Then you go into the next day. It's Dustin May. Right now, it seems like he's the number 4 starter in a playoff series, maybe that number 5.
Right now,
the fact that he's starting in any playoff series is an issue. 6 earned runs over 5 1/3. And it's been the Dustin May we saw with the Dodgers. That's been the Dustin May that they got in the trade as well. And it's also, this lineup has not been producing for quite some time. Even when they win yesterday, just 5 runs, that's not going to cut it in the playoffs.
Yeah, they grind out these wins.
And that's fine. You can have grinded out wins, but you need to have the run support.
Right.
And this is a Pirates team. Over the course of the season, worst lineup in baseball. Since mid-August, they're middle of the pack. They're average. 14th, 15th best in MLB. Fine. They're better than the Red Sox. And what are they missing again? What they needed at the deadline? A middle of the lineup bat. A Josh Naylor, who the Mariners have, because they have a need at first base. What have they done that we've seen? They've released Walker Buehler. They've DFA'd Abraham Toro. Those were 2 issues, Walker Buehler and Abraham Toro. That wasn't new. That was leading up to the trade deadline, and they didn't acknowledge and answer those issues.
That's right.
And that's my issue with the team. They lost Friday. The bullpen let them down. They lost Saturday. The starting pitching let them down. They won on Sunday because Lucas Giolito has been him. But we've seen the same issues. This lineup and this bullpen, I cannot trust in the postseason.
No,
They're not showing it. Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, Jarren Duran, Cedon Rafaela, fantastic. But you need consistency and you need those big bats to step up. They don't have it.
Bro, I'm looking right now at the top teams in the American League because you brought up the trade deadline. You make great points. Blue Jays were active. Tigers were active. Yankees were active. I'm just talking about the trade deadline. Mariners were active. Astros. All these are the top teams right there battling with you if you're the Red Sox. You're the only one out of all those who weren't really active.
They were active. They didn't add.
Not active enough.
Steve Matz.
Yeah.
Fine. That's fine. You need a bullpen arm.
Dustin May.
And he's good. He'll get you an inning. And Dustin May, who should have been a bullpen arm, but right now he's a starting pitcher. And they need to be more active where you need to engage earlier than 15 minutes before the trade deadline to get Joe Ryan. Now, that was a deal that was weeks before in the works.
Sure.
And Minnesota didn't follow through to take it. But then you were so locked in on Joe Ryan, you missed on a Josh Naylor. You missed on a Zach Gallen. You missed on the fill in the blank with another who would have been a solid number 4 starter.
Merrill Kelly.
Because with Crochet, Bayo, and Giolito, you have your 1 through 3. But you need that 4th starter because Walker Buehler was not that. Can Payton Tolle become that? Yes, but that'd be beyond winning the lottery this year.
And you're asking so much from the kid already.
Who's not even 23.
Yeah.
Who's a year removed from college baseball.
Hey, another thing about these pitchers, too, you have to be careful with. Like, for every Paul Skeens, there's 10 guys who you bring up too fast. And you bring along too fast. And their damn elbow explodes. You know what I mean? So as good as Tolle is, and we'll get into it more, you still have to kind of protect him against himself and you against almost moving him too fast.
Well, and he worked out, like Payton Tolle in his debut. The command of his fastball, getting up to 99 miles per hour, that's a career high at any level of him hitting velo there. And we saw it, 98, 97, 96, 99, mowing batters down. His location was there. Working in a cutter as well. He has multiple pitches in his repertoire. He didn't even have to begin this year of baseball. And he worked his way from single A through triple A to the majors.
That's nasty.
He leapfrogged Zach Harrison, who's supposed to be ready for Major League, who they got in the Rafael Devers trade.
That's right.
And he showed up. But to your point, though, and Alex Cora challenged him and sent him out in the 6th inning and said, let's see what you got. He hit a season high in innings in pitches thrown in that game. You wanted to challenge him. But to your point, you have to be patient with Payton Tolle.
Yeah, you do.
This season does not come down to him because they have to be smart with him where they don't want to burn him out. They don't want any sign of any injury, elbow, wrist, shoulder,
get him out
anything.
of there.
They're shutting him down, and that's the right move.
I want him sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber.
He should have been a luxury piece, not a necessity.
That's right.
Piece.
Wrap him in bubble wrap, please. We'll get into him later on. For now, let's hear from Alex Cora after winning the series finale against the Buccos.
Yeah, we needed that. I think offensively, the last week it's been a grind. Some guys slumping, missing Willie. So, big swing there. The ball got in the corner, and then he did his thing.
Where did you first think maybe inside the park home run?
No, I thought double out of the bat, and then the ball got to the triangle. And after that, it was just Huddy's decision.
Does an inside the park home run have a little bit more juice to it?
It felt that way. I mean, the energy in the stadium changed. You could see them, hear them after that, and I think it gave us energy. It's like Rags used to say, it's hard to get energy when you're not hitting. It's not like we're flat or whatever. In this game, the energy comes from the offense, and throughout the series, they did an outstanding job against us.
Who's better with the offense overall, you felt like? Who's better with the offense?
We put some good at-bats, and Narvi going the other way. That was huge. We run the bases extremely well. Nate, first to third, that was huge. Then with the ground ball to short, he took off. He was safe. We did some good things, and hopefully we can get going against Cleveland.
Hey, if you want to talk Red Sox with us, get in here. 617-790-0928. One of the other reasons that this team was not swept by the Pirates was Lucas Giolito. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 6 punch-outs. He was nails. George, I said this to you before. Crochet, Bayo, and Giolito, that is your big 3. And I'll be damned if they haven't been consistent, and they've been pitching like it all year.
Yeah. No, and that is a big three of a rotation
Yeah.
to take over almost every other major league team. I would take that.
I would too.
Bayo, this is the second straight season of him too. He was
Yep.
a 30-game starter last year. He got better this year. It's all soft contact, but he gets outs. And he gets you quality starts.
Pitches well against the Yankees.
Exactly, and he saves your bullpen. He rescues your bullpen. Giolito, Crochet do the same thing. They need that in a fourth starter, but when they get to the bullpen, beyond Garrett Whitlock and Aroldis Chapman, again, you want to go with the big three the Red Sox have.
Sure.
They have the best high-leverage closers
They do.
in MLB too.
They
Garrett
do.
Whitlock in the 8th, Aroldis
Yep.
Chapman in the 9th
Lights out.
have been better than anybody this season.
Yep.
But it's when you get to the 6th and the 7th, that's the issue, and that's when they're losing games. And if it's throwing, a Steve Matz one day, they don't have him the next, they got to rely on a Greg Weisser who's running out of gas, a Brennan Bernardino who's running out of gas.
Yeah.
Or when a Dustin May can only get you 5 innings, that's when it really amplifies all the issues with this team. Look, they won on Sunday, it was great. The inside park home run, Lucas Giolito start was fantastic. They should not be losing the way they were to the Pirates on Friday or on Saturday. Those are avoidable losses, but they were avoidable at the trade deadline. Now, what you have is what you got. What's
Yeah.
going to happen with Sandoval coming off the IL if he's eventually activated?
Sure.
What's going to happen with other arms and other bats potentially?
Tolle. What happens
right?
with Tolle?
How does Payton Tolle continue
Yeah.
to develop over the course of this season? But you can't bank on him. They're lucky Roman Anthony's been as successful as he has. Like, not just successful for a rookie, successful in all of Major League Baseball.
You could argue he saved the G-damn season.
Which was unfair to ask of him. And we said, you
Yes.
can't expect that of him, and he has.
He has.
And that's what the Red Sox and fans cannot overlook.
No doubt. Here's Lucas Giolito after his start against the Pirates. And, of course, typical him fashion, he's giving you all the credit.
How to make it this start tonight?
It would have been way better if I didn't lose my mechanics in the 4th inning. I got really out of sync and, had a few walks there in a row. And, we limited the damage, wild pitch, scored the run, but was able to come back and throw 2 good innings after that, especially after we scored, put up 4 runs. That was massive. So overall, good team effort for the win today.
You've been historically good in the last 6 starts here. Can you feel a difference pitching here?
I just love pitching here. Feeling the energy from the crowd, and just the magic of Fenway in general. I think every guy on the roster would say something similar. There's something special about playing games in Fenway Park, especially a position we're in the playoff race. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, George, look, I don't want to talk down on anyone as you needed a Herculean effort from Lucas Giolito to avoid being swept by the Pirates of all teams. But I'm going to say this kind of tongue-in-cheek that the schedule does get soft right now. You get the Guardians here at Fenway. That's a down year for them, so you get 3 games of that. Then you go to Arizona against a bad Diamondbacks team, and the A's don't even get me started. So conceivably, your schedule's pretty soft here, and you should make hay in this wild card chase. You should, knock on wood.
I mean, they're in the 2nd spot, a half game back of the Yankees. It's a race for the division still. It still is up in the air, especially when they'll face the Blue Jays, the Yankees later on in September.
And then the Tigers later.
Exactly, like late in this month. And then the Tigers, that'll determine wild card standings and possibly the division facing the Yankees and the Blue Jays there.
Yes.
It's in front of them. They're going to get in the playoffs. But I'm sorry that my standard still, and it should be in Boston, because
I agree.
When you hear Lucas Giolito talking about how much fun it is to pitch in Fenway, he's also saying, I've been with the White Sox, the Angels, the Guardians, the Nationals. This is different. The standard here in Boston has always been different, and it still should be. So I'm sorry that my standard isn't get into the postseason. It's win postseason series. Make some noise. What happened in 2021, that should be the standard for the Boston Red Sox, especially with Crochet, Bayo, Giolito, especially with Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, Jarren Duran, Cedon Rafaela, and then the guys that can help them build the depth. But they need more. They need, especially with Chapman and Whitlock, but they need more in the bullpen. They need more in the lineup. So as great as that is, everything's in front of them, and I think they get into the postseason. Why I come out of this weekend, I love the Payton Tolle start. I loved how they closed out on Sunday and responded. I still am not satisfied because this team, you know it for the Red Sox, are not either. When they're consistently winning and when the bats wake back up, that's when they'll be satisfied.
Listen, if you are going to make a deep playoff run, and if that does happen to this team, because we had to have that conversation too, you have to figure out the starting pitching rotation. You just have to figure it out. So when we come back, We'll examine that a bit. Let's see if we can get some answers on how this team can make a deep playoff run because they figured out the pitching rotation outside of the big three who we've been talking about. You get involved with us. We're just 617-790-0928. More Red Sox talk on the other side. We're just getting started here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Travis Thomas and the newly married George Balekji. Roll with us. And remember this, get the latest up-to-date live. We've got Boston sports headlines along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us at 8 a.m. on NESN and 9 a.m. right here on NESN Nation every Monday through Friday.
My goodness, yeah, that chills, a lot of chills. I tried to get out there a little early to take it in, just everything that I could, but it was, it was incredible. I came off the mound after the first, and I couldn't feel my feet. It was just greatest experience of my life, and it was the greatest atmosphere in baseball. So I was very just proud of it, and but it was. I'll look back on this day for a long time, like just thinking about this moment. So, yeah.
Payton Tolle could not feel his feet, but we could feel that mustache. That was
I love that guy, man.
That's a strong stash right there.
Keep that personality, keep that look.
Yeah, he does have a personality.
And I love that about him.
I do too.
I think that's so important for baseball, not just the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
Like everything he does on the mound, everything he does off of it, I think is so important.
I agree.
He has that personality. And he comes in and he's just going like, hey, man, what I just did was like once in a lifetime experience.
Yes.
Friday night at Fenway.
Yes.
I'm the ace. I have expectations. I showed up. It was an electric atmosphere.
Yeah.
My friends are at the game said they haven't felt Fenway Park be like that since 2021.
Bro.
Playoff run. They're talking ALCS appearance.
I have the attendance for Friday night at Fenway, 36,583.
Come on.
That is a sellout.
Come on.
By the way, he is box office, not in just personality and his game, obviously, because how do you get people drawn into you? Mm-hmm. For example, our esteemed producer, Ethan, we love him, but he is a meathead. He loves football. This guy, he chews rocks and does dips. Like he's, you know what I mean? He was watching the game. He never watches baseball. Yeah. Baseball's boring to him. He was watching the game just for Tolle. That's box office, George. Drawing people in. Can you get my grandma to a TV? Okay, that's box office.
And imagine the amount of people going to Fenway Park as is to see Paul Skeens pitch.
Right.
Because that's what he is. He's blockbuster.
Right.
And then the news comes out, it's Payton Tolle's making his debut. And what we saw, too, it wasn't Brian Bayo against Paul Skeens, a soft contact pitcher against a guy that throws gas.
Yeah.
No, it was 98 miles per hour fastball for a strikeout against 100 miles per hour on Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
If you're not going to see a lot of runs, you want to see that type of pitching. Quick, fast, ferocious, on top of batters and shutting dudes down.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw with his debut. That's what was so big. And that for a guy that he was drafted by the Red Sox last season, this past year worked his way up from high single A to triple A. He had under 20 appearances in professional baseball and is already at Major League Baseball, not even 23. You go back a year ago when he's in college, the velo on his fastball was like 92, maybe 94.
Yeah.
He hit 99, actually clocked 99 on Baseball Savant Friday night.
That's nuts.
The progression he's made, how much he's developed, and he had secondary pitches as well. That's not a top-end starter. That is the makings and the foundation of an ace. And he showed up in the moment.
Okay, so then we just need to temper. You got to kind of slow down, right? You don't want to throw this kid to the wolves.
No.
He can't be your fourth starter during a playoff run. Can he? Are we headed for that? I guess, let me re-ask the question.
Yeah.
My fear is that he looked so good in that debut. There's some numbers, by the way. I do want to kind of say this. So Tolle became the first pitcher since Daisuke to strike out 8 or more batters in their major league debut. Like, that's not a small feat here, George.
Yeah.
This guy is 6'6", 250 pounds with a left hand from the depths of hell.
Yep.
So I can understand, like, okay, we're good. Plug him in. He's a fourth starter. But then my biggest fear is that you almost ask too much of him too early, and you wear him down, and he gets hurt, or he doesn't develop properly if you had just slowed your roll a bit. Does that make sense? I almost don't want to fall in love with this kid as much as I'm falling in love with this kid.
No, fall in love with him, but then remember that he's a prospect.
Yes.
And that was his first Major League Baseball appearance.
But he looks so damn good.
He's not going back down. He's staying up with the Red Sox. You have to.
You got to.
And I think when it comes to October, he will be a long-term out-getter.
What does that mean?
Bullpen arm that can get you 2 innings, right? You got to work him along.
That's where they're weak right now, too.
Or I would rather take him as that fourth starter. Hey, go out, throw 4 or 5 innings.
God,
that's
dog.
it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I trust him more. Well, I mean, what was he after 5 innings compared to Dustin May?
I already trust him more than Dustin May already.
And then at that point, when you have everyone on the same page, including a Greg Weissert, where he's going to go 5, be ready to go in the 6th, get us that inning. Weissert, Matz, and then you get to Whitlock, Chapman in Game 4. That's what it could be if they're not pitching the day before, their arms are rested, right? That's what he's going to be. But it's fair to temper expectations. And you know what? Luckily, you can, because you have Garrett Crochet, Brian Bayo, and Lucas Giolito.
Yeah.
What Payton Tolle meant to this team and meant to this city that Friday night is huge. Long term and the short term. And I think for baseball, because who like when it comes to the face of baseball, it's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
But when it comes to also who's that voice of baseball, that player that people outside of loving the sport know about, right? Who is the Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic or SGA? Who's the Patrick Mahomes or the Joe Burrow or the Josh Allen in baseball?
Right.
We had Mike Trout all those years. No one knows what he sounds like. Paul Skeens, he's drier than dirt when it comes to his personality.
He really is.
And Payton Tolle, and eventually he'll have that barrier. Like he'll get older, he'll mature, and he'll be like, you know what? I don't have to be myself and candid all the time in the media, but can have that personality. And that grows the sports beyond the fans of baseball. That's why he's important for the sport. Paul Skeens, best pitcher in baseball. What he does on the mound is phenomenal. But what Payton Tolle can be is an ace in a massive market like Boston, and also be that personality that people around the country love.
Bro, Bayo this afternoon against the Guards. Crochet Day tomorrow for all who celebrate. They have not announced a starter for Wednesday's game. I mean, Alex Cora's being coy on this stuff. Here's Alex Cora, who talked about Tolle after his debut. On the other side, we'll try to figure out what they're going to do with this kid. Take a listen.
Electric. He competes. That's the first thing. He enjoys the game. And then on the mound, that was impressive. The command was good, and he did an outstanding job for us.
You know about the fastball? What do you think of? How would you describe what you saw in the arsenal?
Really good. We got some feedback from Connor. First time out there, and it's different. And we just got to help him now. Keep getting better, of course, and this is different, right? The effort from the get-go is real at his level. So just to manage him and help him out, and he'll keep getting better.
He seems, kind of an excitable type on the mound, shows his emotion. Do you just kind of go with that, and that's who he is, and don't worry that he's kind of getting himself out of,
No, it seems like he, the whole day he was in a good mood. He talks to everybody. I got some feedback from chat today, and that's who he is. And that version is pretty good. He's I think people are gonna like him in this town. I think very polite kid for everything I hear. So he's gonna be good with you guys, accountable. So it was a great night for us. It just sucked that we didn't win, but the overall picture, that was a step forward for the organization.
George, I think I'm at the point where I don't want to be a defeatist here. But with this young team, Tolle and all of them, Roman Anthony, you name it, I just want some playoff experience. Maybe, but can you win a series?
I want to win.
Postseason?
I want a series win.
And then I'm looking at this and I'm like, the championship window, George, is wide open for the next 5 years, at least here in Boston with this team. And so now I almost think I'm changing my mentality with this year. This is house money. I thought this team would be a playoff team. Here we are. Cool. But I do see holes all over. I agree with you on a lot of things you say, particularly as it pertains to the starting pitching staff, 4 and 5. you know what? Let's get the playoff experience. Let's see what happens. Maybe this team catches lightning in a bottle in a wide open American League. But really, I'm thinking about next year and beyond. Spend some more money in the offseason, just like you did this past offseason, bringing in Bregman, right? Do that again and go for it next year and win as many World Series as possible with this young nucleus. I am so afraid of running this Tolle guy into the wall.
And they
really
won't,
am.
but they won't. The first sign of anything with an elbow, a shoulder, a
Get him
wrist,
out.
and they will. It could be a left foot, toe, just sore.
They've been careful with Roman Anthony, too. Remember, he had the back spasm? They were like, get the hell out of here.
You're right with the window, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's still that this is a team, when you think of their starting pitching, their closers, and Whitlock and Chapman, and the top of their lineup, they should win a playoff series.
I would
With
agree.
how open the AL is.
I would agree.
But you're right, though. As critical as I'll be still of, I want more, you're right about the window. Because just think about it where it's Roman Anthony, Cedar Rafaela. If Marcelo Meyer can be back healthy. Let's see if Tristan Casas returns. But they can go out and trade for a Joe Ryan this offseason, and the price will be cheaper. They can go out and sign a Zach Gallen this offseason.
Right.
Lucas Giolito stays, Crochet and Bayo are here. With Tolle, that's your 5 starters. Exactly. They need to add to the pen. They need to get more bats. But this is a team that is ahead of schedule, and the window is open. That's the one good thing you can say about them.
Hey, brother, if the playoffs started today, which they don't, you know who they play?
Yankees.
They could win that series.
If that's at Fenway, because that is the difference in this.
That's a difference.
I trust them in the Bronx.
I think they can win in the Bronx, but to your point,
Fenway gives them a boost.
Man.
Fenway gives them
I wouldn't be shocked if they won that in the Bronx. If that series is in Fenway, I'm betting on it.
Yeah. I would take the
I'm betting on that.
Sox. I would take the Red Sox in that in a wild card series, especially because they have the starting pitching to take a wild card series.
Yeah.
That's what's big.
Yeah, because the Yankees,
comes out. That'll
you're
be
right.
I trust Crochet, Bayo.
Me too.
More than the Yankee staff. Now, the Yankees lineup, when you have Jazz Chisholm, Trent Grisham, not Aaron Judge, having 25-plus home runs on top of what Judge does, and Giancarlo Stanton waking up, you have to hit.
George, I'm about to get my first playoff experience at Fenway. Woo! Anything is possible!
And hey, a half game back of the Yankees. That's what's big, too. You want that series at Fenway. You want that wild card series at Fenway.
Doesn't it feel good here on Boston has entered the chat? Huh? Don't you want to stick around here on Boston has entered the chat? We'll do it, because we're just getting started. We have so much more to talk about. Roll with us. I feel so alive here inside the Salem 5 studios. You like that little remix?
You got bars.
Yeah,
My man.
Travis Thomas, George Balekji, newly minted Merry Man.
Keep reminding folks.
Yes, just in case. For a few reasons. First of all, he has the married man glow up.
Fair.
Just got married. Congratulations to our boy. Secondly, in case there's someone out there thinking they have a shot, you don't.
Too bad.
Look at that Super
found
Bowl
the
ring.
one.
It's over.
I found the one.
It is done. He is off the market. All right, so let's get into what's trending.
Me and Bill Belichick, we found the one.
Yeah. Well, let's go there.
God, I can't believe I just did that.
I know. Here's what's trending in the world of sports. Bill Belichick makes his college coaching debut
Oh, we're talking football, thank God.
tonight. Chapel Bill taking on TCU. Here it is. Prime time, George. What are you
ESPN.
thinking?
This is the Bill effect. I'm interested.
Okay.
Like, this team better perform. This team better be good, and they better dominate. And that's all the off-field stuff aside. You're Bill Belichick. You went from the NFL to UNC. You better dominate. Especially against Yes.
Can we talk about what Vegas thinks of this game quickly?
What does Vegas say? I did not even think to look at the spread.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't bet on that dominance. TCU favored by 3.5 tonight.
Wow.
On the road.
We'll see.
Bill Belichick's debut. TCU favored by 3.5.
Yeah. And this is a Bill Belichick where we saw, like, his handle on the game, his touch on his team, the attention to detail, the do your job, everything got away from him.
Yeah.
And we even saw it this offseason. Him messing around with his boo thing.
That's right.
And making it allowed to be on social media. They better dominate. I am enamored by Bill Belichick in college football, point blank. But it's also, with everything he says, like dragging and making these comments, well, you know, UNC, I don't have the owner and the owner's son to answer to, all this stuff. You better win, Bill. And you better dominate. And it starts tonight.
Let me ask you this. Is there any chance, because this is where I'm at, this is why I'm asking you. Is there any chance all those things you laid out no days off, focus, no distractions, the things that got away from Bill, the ethos that he built all of this on. Is there any chance that that bleeds over to tonight's performance? Because that's where I'm at. I actually now, I already felt like there's a lot of pressure on these kids. You know, this is a basketball school. I still am in shock that he took the job. And it shows you the lack of jobs that he had.
Yes.
But then take a year off and go be with that boo thing you're talking about, and then come back in a year and you're a hot candidate. I'm still shocked that he took this job.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing all this up because I'm thinking, damn, here's TCU, a better team, at least according to Vegas, and they're going into this house, and all these kids now at a basketball school with this guy, the GOAT, as their coach. That's a lot of pressure on these kids.
Yeah.
And if they go out there and Bill's distractions and Bill's not being focused and Bill's boo-thing antics this offseason bleeds over on a football field, yeah, dominant is right, except they're going to get dominated. They ain't dominating anyone. They're going to get their butts whipped.
And that's where I wonder on, like, what this team is.
Right.
And, like, look, any other year, any other time, are you and I on the last Monday night before football's back, the NFL football's back, are we talking about TCU, UNC?
No.
Is UNC TCU on ESPN?
No.
And that's a Bill effect.
It would have been a noon game on Saturday that no one cared about.
Exactly. But it's also that where this guy can put this program. A program that was competitive in the ACC, a really tough conference as it only got deeper with them shifting from Power 5s to Power 4s. A program that can, in a way, be a sleeping, I don't want to say giant, but a sleeping contender for the college football playoff and in that conference as well. But this is something that we're going to have our eyes on again. And that's why I go back to they better dominate.
Yeah.
Because he bullied his way into this job. He called his boy down to Florida. I'm not going to say his name because that boy stank. But he called him to get him in touch and get him in line to get this UNC job. And he bullied his way, yes. Bill Belichick was all about do your job and focus on football and eliminate the outside distractions. He needed help from outside the state of North Carolina to even get an interview for this job.
Damn.
Yes.
I ain't know the T like that.
He forced his way into this job. He better win. Or he's just setting up to get a payday for 1 year, then hand it off to his son. And I'm not hating on son. He's
His
a good
son
DC.
can coach.
Yes.
His son might be the guy that takes UNC to where they have to be.
Younger, more dialed in.
Okay,
less
so
distraction.
you and I both we're not in love with this tonight. I'm not. I think
watching.
they're going to lose. Of course.
Look, man, I'm not going to BS you. I don't know enough about UNC.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about TCU to even look at that spread and make a decision either side. Maybe I'll look into it a little.
Yeah.
But I'm locked in because it's Bill Belichick, and that's the effect.
All right, our old friend Thomas Castellanos, now at FSU, no longer with Boston College, beat the hell out Alabama this weekend. And look at this tweet from Brad Crawford. Florida State QB Thomas Castellanos is selling Nick can't save him shirts after beating Alabama. So this quote is from Thomas himself, who said, hey, I mean, Nick Saban can't save them. We're going to win this game. And they damn sure did. Yeah,
Castellanos, I think, threw for like 150 and then ran for 78 and a score.
He was a problem.
He did so well. And look at Mike Norvell, man. I mean, DJU, no longer like last year was such a letdown by Florida State. They get Castellanos in the transfer portal, which, by the way, Dylan Lonergan, the now starting quarterback for BC, lit it up against Florida. BC won 66-10, so they're in a good spot as well with Bill O'Brien.
He did.
But for Castellanos to say that, followed up with the performance, light him up, and that's Florida State upsetting number 8 Alabama. Look, Mike Norvell is one of the more underrated head coaches in college football, is a mastermind offensively. Gus Malzahn is offensive coordinator. Do you see that effect? And it's also Kalen DeBoer.
Uh-oh.
You got to win in Tuscaloosa, man.
Yeah.
That seat is getting hot.
What are them fans saying, right? You ain't Nick.
They're calling up Paul Feinbaum. Paul, what y'all tell you about him? He's come from the Pacific Northwest. He don't know what we want in the South.
We don't give a piss about nothing but the time.
Kalen, you better win soon or you got to get out, boy. That's what they're saying about Kalen DeBoer.
Also, before we go to break, I would just like to point out, yesterday was the last Sunday. Today is the last Monday without NFL football until February of 2026. Can we clap it up for that, baby? Woo!
Toby!
Are you ready for some
Toby's
football?
clapping.
Hey, you know, in the spirit of that, when we come back, let's talk Patriots.
And real quick, though, I got to say.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
Jera.
I was away.
Jera.
You're an idiot.
Jera.
You are an idiot. All right,
Jera.
thank you. I'm good.
We may need to talk some long-term care
See,
for
why
you,
I
Jera.
traded away Michael was to make our defense better. He couldn't defend the run, but then I'm going to extend a cornerback that goes for pick sixes and gets burnt all the time.
He's back, folks. He's back. He's married, but he's back. And we'll be back talking Patriots next. Stay with us.
I'd say the greatest quality about Spillane is he's a phenomenal teammate. Really takes pride in knowing the guys in the room with him.
Everyone I walk by, I say hello. It's always good to greet somebody with a good morning. Good morning. Hump day. It's training camp.
How you doing, man?
Let's have
You ready to go?
Yeah, are you calling it?
Yeah.
All right. Clear, concise.
It's you
All right.
go get it early.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you. We'll communicate.
Come in, grab some food, head to the weight room, get a little warm up in, get the body primed for the day, jump in the sauna, and then get to meetings.
That's a guy that wore the C patch on his jersey, was a captain, was a leader. Spillane, an underrated linebacker. I was shocked when Las Vegas let him hit free agency.
Robert Spillane, just put next to his name effort.
He eats, sleeps, breathes football.
Wait a minute. I recognize that
heard
voice
that guy
in there.
before.
Was that you?
Golly gee.
My damn.
Shout out to the people that put together Forge and Fox.
Yeah.
We appreciate them putting
We're
us
big
in there.
fans. We talk about them all the time on this show. Our only complaint has ever been we need more episodes, but we understand it takes a while to cook up. We get it.
I get
but
it.
we love you guys, man.
And it was cool the way they're like spotlighting Robert Spillane. They're you know, it's building up the stories. And again, like Patriots may not get Hard Knocks from HBO. They're going out and doing their own thing. There's a lot of effort that goes into that series, the shooting, the editing, all of that. And it's like, to find that clip of us talking about Robert Spillane on here, like that takes a lot.
Takes a lot of work.
There's easy stuff. You go with, you know, Sports Hub or whoever, you know, you go there. But like they were looking for something for him. So I appreciate their effort. It'll never get old, like watching something and hearing a voice and going, oh, shoot, that's me.
Okay, now, you and I haven't talked since this 53-man roster has been put out. Now that you can sit back and look at this thing and drink it all in, what are you thinking here?
It's interesting. Where there was a 53-man roster, there was also like the 53 they put out, and then they had to delete it and put the new one out. Cole Strange is on the team.
Well, they
not on
made
the
some
team.
people disappear.
Layden Robinson, Jalen Polk injured. And then now it's Kendrick Bourne, Jabril Peppers no longer with the team, the guys that they've let go. This is not a good enough football team to simply just cut Jabril Peppers because you owe him money when you have some of the most cap space in the NFL. This isn't a good enough wide receiving room to just cut Kendrick Bourne. Maybe he wasn't on board with what they were, but this is what you get in a year one of Mike Vrabel. And what is his big thing? Respect the team will respect you back, and we'll play. And everyone gets a fresh slate. Javon Baker was on the roster. Now he's with the Eagles on their practice squad. This roster still has the same concerns for me. The depth of their secondary and the depth of their tackles. Because right now you're going to have a rookie left tackle and left guard starting and a very veteran right tackle. If Morgan Moses and Will Campbell are banged up or don't work out, it's DeMontre Jacobs, it's Vidarian Lowe, it's Caden Wallace. It's the same old song and dance from last season, and that's what concerns me. This is a roster with a lot of question marks around it, and we can talk about Drake May, the coaching staff. It hinders on the success of the offensive line. This offensive line is built to run block, which is fine. Josh McDaniels wants to do that. Can Ramondre Stevenson hold on to the ball? Because if he can hold on to the ball, he keeps Travion Henderson healthy. And Travion Henderson can be the Jahmyr Gibbs of this offense. And that sets up the play action, which sets up Drake May for success, which allows these wide receivers to get open, these tight ends to pass catch, and sets up this defense to pin their ears back and wreak havoc on a quarterback. The success of this team relies on their tackles and their second-year quarterback with Josh McDaniels. I have a lot of question marks on how it is right now. They're not good enough. They're not talented enough. 53 guys to let good football players go like Jabril Peppers.
Listen, bro. It's so weird because I agree and disagree with you all in the same breath. Where I agree is this team isn't talented enough. But I'm putting a period there where you're putting a comma. The rest of your statement is to let Jabril Peppers and Kendrick Bourne and Javon Baker. That's where I'm going on a different path from you. This is why I put a period. This team is not talented enough, period, okay?
Yeah.
As far as Jabril Peppers goes, they made it seem like a cap casualty because of the money, which you mentioned. I'm seeing all on my timeline, this guy has some sort of rap album or mixtape or something coming out. I think it could be deeper than this. Money, yes, but also he could be a pain in the arse. And remember, he had some issues here before Vrabel got here off the field, which Vrabel was cool with and the team was cool with and allowed the legal process to play out.
And he ended up playing for the team.
He ended up playing.
Andrew Callahan of the Herald did report that did not affect him being released.
Well,
they tried to shop him around, according to Mike Reese, didn't get any bidders, and they let him go.
Here's where I'm going with that, though.
Okay.
That's noise, okay? Before I even got here, I'm talking about Vrabel. Before I even got here, there was noise with you, bro.
Yeah.
I get here, I give you a chance. You're not Ronnie Lott. You're not some damn great safety.
Yeah.
And now you got a rap mixtape coming out. And
Fair.
Get the hell out of here. Kendrick Bourne, he's always hurt. I'm sorry. How many years have Patriots fans waited on Kendrick Bourne to put it all together? Except it never happens.
Yeah.
See ya. Javon Baker, you suck. Sorry, I know you're young. Maybe it could work out for you long term, but you suck now. None of these dudes matter, George. I look at the big picture, and here's where I say I agree with you. Offensive line is the issue number one, okay? Yeah. Is that going to be better or not? Depth at corner, I agree, although I'm not as concerned as you are, because I think the front seven's going to be lit. It's just, can you protect Drake May to help Drake May develop? That's the question.
Yeah.
And that's offensive line based. But I still go back to Josh McDaniels schematically helping the kid out. That remains to be seen. But as far as Jabril Peppers and Kendrick Bourne and Javon Baker, these guys suck. I don't think it matters that much for
Jabril
the 53.
Peppers does not suck. He's a starting safety. Now, this defensive scheme is different with Terrell Williams. They want Jalen Hawkins, Mordell Pettis.
Yes.
Safeties that can cover the back end instead of being an in-the-box guy.
Yeah,
they don't
even
want strong
Duggar's
safeties.
odd man out.
They want as many free safeties on the field as possible.
That's right.
I understand that. But that is Jabril Peppers. We want to go back to the reverse of it. That is still a starting caliber safety.
Yeah.
For 31 other teams in the NFL. You don't even get draft compensation back for him. And with the talks of, well, they're not a scheme fit. When Mike Vrabel, he knew he was getting this job. You go back to week 15 of last year. Coming out of the bye, absolute goose egg against the Cardinals. That's when the nail was in the coffin that it wasn't working out. They needed to make a change of head coach.
Sure.
And you know, even though he's with the Browns at the time, he's doing his homework. Watching the film, seeing who the personnel are. Him and Terrell Williams knew who the safeties were they inherited in January. Why are you trying to shop Kyle Duggar late in the summer? Why are you trying to shop Jabril Peppers and end up cutting him? You don't even get a draft compensation back, a 6th-round pick. I know it's minuscule in the scheme of things, but you're going to eat that money now? Still got $4 million guaranteed. They let Jabril Peppers go because of the game bonuses he had lined up, how much they could pay him, but they have the cap space. This is not a good enough team to let a starting caliber safety like Jabril Peppers go. He's 29. To shop around a Kyle Duggar, he's 29. To shop around Anthony Jennings, who's a good run-stopping edge defender. This team is not good enough on defense because you talk about the front seven. This secondary is thin. Christian Gonzalez, his hamstring, that's being characterized as intricate.
That's a concern.
As complex leading up to week one. Carlton Davis has been in and out of being available throughout training camp.
That's right.
Marcus Jones always has an injury history. So you're putting a lot on Jalen Hawkins, Del Pettis, and Craig Woodson. Woodson being a rookie, the other two guys who have never been a starting safety yet.
It's concerning.
It's a lot of projecting that they're going to succeed.
I know, I hear you. Look, a lot of these guys who got cut haven't found a job yet. And that shows you, no one's trading for them for a reason. I'm not putting a lot of stock in Jabril Peppers, although I hear you. He is a starter, I get it. But I think it could be outside of football, too. I think he could be a pain in the arse. I really do. And no one wants to talk about that, but that's a reality. And when you look at this stuff, it's right in front of your face. He's already had some run-ins. Just go on YouTube and type in his name in terms of music. It's music videos galore from 5 minutes ago.
Marcus Jones does the same thing.
I know, but I'm just saying, when it comes down to cut day and they look at that number that you're getting paid and your productivity or lack thereof, and then your extracurriculars, you're gone. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I'm not looking at this season. Like, for example, I'm looking at the schedule now, right? I'm between 7 and 9 wins for this team. I vacillate, and we can go through some of them here. But I vacillate either way. That's with or without Jabril Peppers. He's not dictating any of these games. Now, in the AFC, I'm not sure if 9 wins even get you in the postseason. I think I'm closer to 7 or 8. looking at the schedule, here's like a handful of games that I would call coin flip games. Every schedule you could go through, and we could do this, but it's not good TV, where you sit there and you go, win, loss, that's a tie, loss, win, 3 in a row here, win. We're not doing that. We'll bore you to death. But there are a handful of games that are coin flip games. So let's start with the opener. Raiders come here to Foxborough. You start your season, Drake May year 2, Mike Vrabel's debut as a head coach. I think the Patriots win that game. Do you?
I think that'll be a loss.
Why?
I think this is an underrated Las Vegas Raiders offensive line with Ashton Ginty and a head coach, Pete Carroll, and offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, who love to run the ball. And they have a deep receiving room. Jacoby Myers with his holdout, I get it. But it's Brock Bowers, it's Jack Besh, the rookie. It's Geno Smith, who is a top 12 starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's a good defensive line against a very questionable offensive line. And it's coming into Foxborough. It's week 1. It's traveling out from Vegas. But this is a Raiders team led by Pete Carroll that, like, with Geno Smith, with the additions they made on offense, how they drafted, it's going to challenge this defense right away. And I'm just so many question marks with this offense. When it opened up, I was all in. Patriots, I think, beat the Raiders. I think they beat Pittsburgh. I think they beat Carolina. But now I waver. I think they open up 2-2 on the season. Maybe they could possibly open up 0-3 because at Miami, that's a historic loss for the Pats. And it is a Miami team that's soft, but they'll be healthy week 2. Tyreek Hill will still have his legs under him. Tua will still be under center. Pittsburgh, again, that front seven. My thoughts with this offensive line, it's a rookie in Will Campbell, a rookie in Jared Wilson at left guard. It is a center, Garrett Bradbury, who the Minnesota Vikings, who have a bad offensive line, said, yeah, go ahead, hit free agency. It's Michael Onwenu at right guard, and it's Morgan Moses, who's been on a pitch count since they opened up practice. It's about this offensive line again for the Patriots, and I hate we're talking about that for a second straight year, but that's why I like the Raiders in week 1.
I like the Patriots, and Vegas does too, by the way. You know it always goes back to gambling for me. Patriots are favored in that game by 2.5 points. The total, George, while you were talking about how you see the game playing out, I was thinking low scoring because you're going to run Genty. Patriots are going to try to establish the run on their end, whether it's Henderson or Ramondre or both, whoever's. I could see both defenses with Crosby, and obviously we think the Patriots defense is going to be good. 42.5 points is low, but I still think I would consider the under for that. Let's jump down to week 9 now. Falcons, they come here, so you get them at home. Michael Penix and the Falcons. That's another game that feels like a coin flip game. And that's one where I could see the Patriots winning it, but I could also see the Patriots losing it because Michael Penix started to come along as the season went on. Rightfully so. He was a rookie last year, right? And the Falcons almost made the postseason. Wasn't able to quite get it done. But that's a guy, as the season went on, much like Drake May, got more comfortable. They have weapons. Drake London, Bijan Robinson. It's like, okay, you know, the Falcons could be cooking with something. By week 9, that could be a very difficult task for the Patriots. That's a coin flip one. I could see a loss there.
That's where I like the win here. I think it's going to be a test. It could be a trap game, that Atlanta game. They drafted 2 really premier pass rushers, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix, who can run that system. They're going to run the ball, good offensive line. I just think of a team with momentum coming off facing 3 straight rookie quarterbacks. Well, Spencer Rattler, then it'll be Cam Ward, and we'll see who's starting for Cleveland. It has to be Shedeur. I don't know why you would start Joe Flacco. I don't know why you would start Dylan Gabriel. You should.
They could start Bernie Kosar. It don't matter. That team sucks.
But it's still Michael Penix with a lot of football experience. But this is a team that has a better head coach. This is where I give the Mike Vrabel boost. And this is where I think by week 9, that offense is finding its stride. Where it's tune-up games. Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta. Especially with a Falcons team, a dome team, coming into Foxborough to start off November where the weather effect. I like the Patriots matchup. Again, though, how does this offensive line play? And also, how healthy will this defense be? Does Christian Gonzalez figure out his hamstring by this point? Is Carlton Davis playing at corner? But this is a Patriots team that matches up well with these Falcons. That's why I like them beating the Falcons. At home, that's big to me, because I think they lose in Tampa the following week.
All right, let's drop down to week 12 now. They go into the jungle. Welcome to the jungle against the Bengals. This is a loss. Joe Burrow is going to light them up like a Christmas tree.
Why?
To that, you say what? What do you mean why?
Because this is supposed to be a top 10 defense.
He's the best quarterback in the game. But Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the game. T. Higgins is the best Robin the Batman in the game.
And did they make the playoffs last year?
They did not.
Why?
because they couldn't stop anyone.
Bingo.
But so what, are you going to win a track meet?
Yes.
So Drake May's going to win a track meet against all the guys I just said? Are you insane?
This offensive line for the Bengals stinks. The defensive line in the front seven is a strength for the Patriots, especially with Barmore and Milton Williams. And we'll see the edge rushers who end up showing up. But they match up on the outside. Christian Gonzalez against Jamar Chase. The D-line will dominate, and that's a defense that can't get stops. And that's where you take the air out of the ball. That's where Josh McDaniels and Drake May, they'll go, we're going to beat them with paper cuts. Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, run the ball, eat up the clock. The Bengals team can't get stops. And it's also, they're coming off a Thursday night game against the Jets. That's extra prep leading up to the Bengals. That's why I like them there.
Could be a trap game there because that following week, it's a Monday nighter against the G-Men here in Foxborough. Monday night, and then you go into the bye week. I think that's a game the Patriots will win, but that is a coin flip game. I understand that, especially in your world. If they beat the Bengals with what you just laid out, and then you come back home, you're against the Giants, who I think are going to be sorry, that could be one of those games where you're set up for a letdown.
That's where exactly, I think, coming off the high beat in the Bengals, and to start the season, like, who is our quarterback going to be? At this point, it could be Jackson Dart.
I like Jackson Dart.
He's not bad. But if it's Jameis, I don't think it's going to be Russell Wilson. If it's Jameis Winston, again, though, this Giants defense, this Giants front seven against this questionable offensive line for the Pats, that's going to be the thing. I'm a hammer at home all season long. You have to have good tackle play. I don't believe that they have it. But coming out of the bye, I think they lose against the Giants. Coming out of that bye, I think they beat the Bills at home. And again, Mike Vrabel effect. 2 weeks of prep. Sean McDermott's not a good head coach. Yes, the Bills have Superman and Josh Allen. But I think it's being at home with Mike Vrabel, and this is when the offense gets into the flow. I think that the Patriots win there.
Put a number on it. I told you I'm between 7 and 10 or 9 wins. I think I'll go 8 and 9. I'll just split the difference.
I'll go 10 and 7.
10 and 7?
Playoff team.
Playoff team?
Look at the schedule, how it breaks out. They face 3 elite quarterbacks this season. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. They face Josh Allen twice. Other than that, it's all mid. It's all mid. Washed up Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, Tua Tagovailoa, Spencer Rattler, maybe Tyler Shuck, Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, Michael Penix, Baker Mayfield without Liam Cohen, without Dave Canales, Justin Fields twice.
Yo, bro, I'm just telling you, if I get Red Sox playoffs and Patriots playoffs, I'm going to lose my mind up in here. Hey, roll with us on Nessa Nation. The party continues. We're basically doing a wedding reception after party over on Nessa Nation. So keep partying with us. We're done here at Nesson, but the party continues on Nessa Nation. Travis Thomas, George Balekji, newly married man. Boston has entered the chat. We appreciate y'all. Come with us on Nessa Nation.
Johnny Walker Black on the rocks coming up.
Woo!